Far beyond the Caribbean, beyond every shipping route, and beyond every map ever drawn, there was an island that no captain dared to name. Not because they couldn't find it, because it only appeared to men who had already stolen enough gold to become kings. Old pirates called it the Last Throne. No navy ever searched for it. No empire ever conquered it. Every king denied it existed, because every king feared the same terrifying legend. There was only one true pirate king, and he had never died. On stormy nights, sailors claimed they heard something strange. Not cannon fire, not crashing waves. A crown, dragging across wooden floors, one slow scrape after another, as though someone was still walking the deck of an invisible ship. Then came the whispers. If the sea offers you a crown, never wear it, because no man who did ever returned. October 3rd, 1720, the Caribbean Sea. Captain Nathan Blackwood stood proudly aboard his flagship, the Black Tempest. He wasn't the richest pirate, nor the most feared, but he was the luckiest. Every battle ended in victory. Every storm somehow spared his ship. Every treasure hunt ended with another chest of gold. His crew believed the sea favored him. Nathan believed the same, until that morning. The lookout suddenly shouted, "Ship ahead!" Every pirate rushed to the rails. Nothing, only thick grey fog. There, the lookout pointed again. Slowly, a massive warship drifted from the mist. It carried no sails, no crew, no flag. It simply floated, silent. Its black hull was untouched by age. Not a single barnacle clung to it. Its cannons gleamed like polished silver. Most disturbing of all, there wasn't a sound. No waves, no creaking wood. Even the ocean around it had become perfectly still. Nathan narrowed his eyes. "Prepare to board." His first mate frowned. "Captain, that ship has no anchor." Nathan smiled. "Then it won't fight back." Hooks flew, ropes tightened. The Black Tempest pulled alongside the ghostly vessel. Not one soul greeted them. Nathan climbed aboard first. The deck was spotless, fresh, as though someone had cleaned it only moments ago. Yet everything looked ancient, hundreds of years old. His boots echoed loudly, too loudly. Every step seemed to repeat itself, once, twice, 3 times, almost, as though someone invisible walked beside him. One pirate whispered, "I don't like this." Nathan ignored him. The crew searched every cabin. Nothing, no bodies, no food, no maps, only silence. Then they reached the captain's quarters. The heavy oak door slowly swung open by itself. Inside stood a magnificent throne, not carved from wood, made entirely of black coral and solid gold. Resting upon the seat was a crown, unlike any crown ever worn by a king. It wasn't decorated with jewels. It was covered in tiny gold coins, hundreds of them, each bearing the face of a different ruler. Kings, queens, emperors, sultans, every coin had one thing in common. Every face had been scratched away. Nathan stepped closer. "Leave it." His first mate sounded terrified. "This isn't treasure." Nathan laughed. "It's a crown." "No." The pirate shook his head. "It's bait." Nathan reached toward it. The moment his fingers touched the gold, the cabin door slammed shut. Outside, the ocean exploded. A monstrous wave surrounded both ships. The sky instantly turned black. Every compass aboard the Black Tempest began spinning wildly. The crew screamed. Nathan lifted the crown. It felt strangely warm, almost alive. Then he heard a voice, not in the room, inside his mind. At last, another king. Nathan dropped the crown. It refused to fall. Instead, it floated, slowly, until it hovered directly before his face. Every gold coin covering its surface began moving. Tiny mouths opened, Tiny voices whispered, hundreds of them. We wore it. So did I. Don't run. It chooses. Nathan stumbled backward. What are you? The whispers stopped. One final voice answered. Deep, ancient, calm. I am the crown of tides. I do not choose kings. I collect them. The cabin walls suddenly dissolved. Nathan found himself standing inside an enormous throne room beneath the sea. Thousands of empty thrones stretched into darkness. Each throne held a skeleton. Every skeleton still wore a crown. Pirate crowns, royal crowns, golden helmets, jeweled diadems, the remains of every ruler the sea had ever claimed. At the center, one throne remained empty, waiting for him. Nathan gasped. The vision vanished. He was back inside the captain's cabin. The crown had disappeared. So had the throne. Only one object remained on the wooden floor. A single ancient gold coin. One side showed a crown, the other an empty throne. Fresh letters slowly carved themselves across its surface. The sea has chosen its next king. Outside, the ghost ship began moving, without sails, without wind, without crew. It turned toward the endless fog, as if expecting Nathan to follow. Then something impossible happened. Every pirate aboard the Black Tempest slowly removed their hats, not by choice, as though obeying someone they could not see. One by one, they knelt. Not before Captain Nathan Blackwood, but before the invisible king, standing directly behind him. Nathan slowly turned. There was no one there, only a wet pair of footprints leading toward the captain's chair, and somewhere deep beneath the sea. A massive iron bell rang. Once, then a second time. The second bell echoed beneath the sea. Then, silence. No waves, no wind, no gulls. Captain Nathan Blackwood stood frozen inside the captain's cabin. The ancient gold coin still rested in his hand. Its surface was warm, almost like a heartbeat. Outside, his entire crew remained on their knees. Nobody moved. Nobody blinked. They stared toward the empty captain's chair, as though someone invisible had just taken a seat. Nathan slowly stepped outside. What are you all doing? No one answered. Then, his oldest sailor whispered without looking up. The king has boarded. Nathan looked around. There is no king. The sailor slowly raised trembling eyes. You can't see him, because he hasn't chosen his face yet. At that exact moment, the ghost ship began moving. Not slowly, not drifting. It sliced through the sea without touching the water. The waves never broke against its hull. The ocean simply opened, allowing the ship to pass. Nathan shouted, "Raise the sails!" The crew didn't move. Instead, every pirate spoke together, in the exact same voice. "We follow the king!" Nathan's blood turned cold. His own crew was no longer listening to him. The ghost ship entered the thick fog. Without thinking, Nathan ran back into the captain's cabin. The ancient coin suddenly floated into the air. It spun once, twice, 3 times, then pointed toward the ghost ship. A whisper filled the room. "The throne awaits." Nathan clenched the coin. "No, I make my own destiny." Instantly, the coin burned his hand. He dropped it. The wooden floor beneath him cracked open. Dark seawater flooded into the cabin, but the ship wasn't sinking. The water wasn't real. It became a mirror. Nathan looked down. Instead of seeing himself, he saw another pirate, a giant of a man, long black beard, scar across one eye, golden crown, standing proudly aboard a different ship. Then, a cannonball tore through his chest. The crowned pirate smiled, even as he died. The mirror changed. Another king appeared, a woman wearing a silver tricorn hat. She commanded an entire fleet. Then, one of her own officers stabbed her in the back. Again, the mirror changed. A pirate emperor, an island ruler, a sea conqueror. One after another, every pirate king died the same way. Not from enemies, from betrayal. Nathan whispered, "Who were they?" The whisper returned. "My collection." The mirror shattered. Water disappeared. Nathan stumbled outside. The ghost ship had stopped. Its black sails slowly unfolded for the first time. Each sail carried the same symbol, a broken crown. His first mate gasped. "I've seen that before." Nathan turned. "Where?" "My grandfather. He had a map. He burned it before he died. He kept saying—" The old pirate swallowed hard. "Never let the crown reach the last harbor." Nathan frowned. "What last harbor?" Nobody answered. Instead, the sea answered. The water around both ships suddenly began glowing. Thousands, then tens of thousands, of golden lights rose from beneath the surface. Nathan smiled. "Treasure." His first mate grabbed his arm. "No, they're ships." The glowing lights came closer. Nathan's smile disappeared. They weren't coins, they were lanterns, hanging from ships, hundreds of ships, then thousands. An entire fleet slowly rose from beneath the ocean. Ancient pirate ships, Spanish galleons, British warships, Dutch merchant vessels, Arabian dhows, Chinese treasure junks, Viking longships. Every ship looked perfectly preserved. Every deck was occupied by skeletons, still standing at their posts, still gripping swords, still holding the wheel, still staring forward as though waiting for orders. Nathan counted until he couldn't anymore. There were simply too many. The greatest pirate fleet ever assembled had been hiding beneath the sea. The ghost ship sailed to the front of them. Immediately, every skeletal crew bowed, not toward the ship, toward Nathan. His first mate whispered, "They think you're him." Nathan shook his head. "I'm nobody." A deep horn echoed across the ocean. Every skeleton suddenly lifted its head. Thousands of empty eye sockets turned toward the horizon. The fog slowly separated. Beyond it stood an island. Not green, not tropical. Black. Its cliffs were made of volcanic stone. Enormous shipwrecks hung from the cliffs like decorations. Hundreds of crowns had been nailed into the rocks. Each one belonged to a different king. At the highest point stood a lighthouse. Except its light wasn't white. It burned blood red. The old sailor fell to his knees again. The last harbor. Nathan stared silently. At the very top of the lighthouse, someone was standing, watching them, too far away to recognize. The figure slowly raised one hand. Every ship in the undead fleet fired its cannons at once, not toward Nathan, into the sky. Thousands of cannon blasts shook the heavens. The clouds split apart, and hanging high above the island, Nathan saw something no sailor had ever imagined. An enormous golden crown, larger than a mountain, floating in the sky, held aloft by hundreds of massive iron chains that disappeared into the clouds. The whisper returned one final time, soft, patient, almost welcoming. Every pirate king comes here to learn who truly rules the sea. Far above, one of the giant chains suddenly snapped. The impossible crown shifted, and the entire ocean trembled. The ocean trembled. One of the giant chains holding the impossible crown had snapped. The sound echoed across the sea like thunder. Every ship in the ghost fleet stopped moving. Every skeleton lowered its head. Even the waves seemed afraid. Captain Nathan Blackwood stared at the floating crown. It was impossible. Larger than an entire island, forged from solid gold, covered in thousands of ancient pirate symbols. Some had faded, Some still glowed crimson. Each symbol belonged to a pirate king who had once ruled the seas. Nathan whispered, "Who could possibly wear that?" His first mate answered without taking his eyes off the sky. "No one. That's why it's still waiting." The blood-red lighthouse suddenly flashed. Once, twice, 3 times. The enormous iron gates of the last harbor slowly opened. Not outward, downward. The cliffs themselves split apart. Hidden beneath the island lay an enormous harbor carved into black stone. Thousands of ghost ships rested inside. Some were older than history itself. Broken Viking longships, Roman war galleys, Chinese treasure fleets, Arabian warships, Spanish galleons, ships from every age, every empire, every ocean. Yet none of them had rotted. Time had forgotten this place. Nathan stepped ashore. The moment his boots touched the black sand, every skeleton aboard the harbor ships saluted. Thousands of swords rose together. Not a single skeleton moved otherwise. They stood like silent soldiers awaiting one command. Nathan looked at the old sailor. "They're greeting me." The sailor slowly nodded. "They've mistaken you for the next king." Suddenly, the ancient gold coin inside Nathan's pocket became scorching hot. He pulled it out. The scratched faces on both sides began changing. One by one, new pirate faces appeared. Each lasted only a second, then vanished. Finally, the coin stopped. Nathan's own face now stared back at him. His blood froze. No! The coin cracked in half. From inside, a tiny folded map slipped into his hand. It hadn't been there before. The parchment looked impossibly old. Across the top, 3 words were written in faded black ink. The king's path, only one location was marked, a giant circle beneath the island. Nathan followed the map. The crew followed him. The deeper they walked, the colder the air became. The walls changed. They were no longer stone. They were covered with names. Thousands, then tens of thousands. Every name belonged to a pirate. Beside each name, one word had been carved. King Nathan touched one of them. Instantly, a vision filled his mind. A pirate captain standing proudly upon a burning ship. He laughed as cannon fire surrounded him. Then, black chains erupted from the sea. They wrapped around his body, dragged him beneath the waves. His name disappeared from the wall. Another vision, another pirate king. This one ruled an entire island kingdom. He wore a magnificent emerald crown. He sat upon a throne of whale bones. Suddenly, his own crown transformed into iron chains. They crushed him where he sat. Another name vanished. Nathan stumbled backward. "What is this place?" A voice answered. Not from behind him, not ahead, from everywhere. "The Hall of Kings!" Torch flames burst alive, one after another. The corridor stretched endlessly into darkness. At its end stood a single throne. Unlike every throne Nathan had ever seen. It wasn't made of gold, or wood, or stone. It had been built entirely from the broken figureheads of pirate ships. Hundreds of carved faces stared outward. Each face looked terrified. Above the throne hung hundreds of rusted crowns. Every crown dripped seawater, yet none were wet. Nathan slowly approached. Then he noticed someone was already sitting there. An old man, long silver beard, one blind eye, skin pale as moonlight. His black captain's coat looked older than any kingdom. Across his chest hung dozens of medals from nations that no longer existed. He smiled. "I've been waiting." Nathan drew his sword. "Who are you?" The old captain stood. Every skeleton in the harbor immediately knelt. The lighthouse outside dimmed. Even the floating crown seemed to bow. The old man removed his weathered tricorn hat. "My name has been forgotten. My kingdoms have turned to dust. My treasure has sunk. But history remembered one title. He looked directly into Nathan's eyes. I was the first pirate king. Silence. Nathan tightened his grip on his sword. You're dead. The old man laughed softly. I was. But kings are difficult to bury. He slowly walked toward Nathan. Each step left wet footprints. Yet the stone remained dry. The sea doesn't reward pirates. It collects them. Nathan frowned. What do you want from me? The old king stopped only inches away. He gently lifted Nathan's chin. I want to know whether you will wear the crown or destroy it. Before Nathan could answer, a deafening explosion shook the island. The lighthouse shattered. The blood-red flame went out. Every skeleton in the harbor suddenly looked toward the sea. Not with obedience, with fear. The old pirate king's smile disappeared. They found us. Nathan turned toward the harbor. Far beyond the black cliffs, hundreds of warships appeared on the horizon. Not British, not Spanish, not French. Their sails were completely black. No flags, no names. Only one symbol burned upon every sail. A golden crown split cleanly in half. The first pirate king whispered, "They are the crown hunters. They have crossed the ocean to kill every pirate king." Then, for the very first time in centuries, the Ghost Fleet prepared for war. Thousands of ancient cannons slowly turned toward the horizon, and somewhere beneath the island, something enormous began to wake. The island shook. Deep beneath the last harbor, something enormous awakened. A low growl echoed through the stone. Not an animal, not a monster. It sounded like thousands of anchors being dragged across the ocean floor. Captain Nathan Blackwood rushed to the harbor cliffs. The Ghost Fleet had already formed into battle lines. Thousands of ancient ships stood side by side. Roman war galleys, Viking longships, Arabian warships, Chinese treasure ships, Spanish galleons. Every pirate king who had ever vanished had left behind a fleet. The first pirate king watched silently. They've come. Nathan looked toward the horizon. The black-sailed armada continued growing. Ship after ship emerged from the fog. Hundreds became thousands. The sea itself disappeared beneath them. Every vessel carried the same broken golden crown upon its sails. Nathan asked, "Who are the crown hunters?" The old king's face darkened. They were once pirates. They wanted power, but not the burden of a crown. They hunt kings and steal their kingdoms. Nathan frowned. So they want the throne? The first pirate king slowly shook his head. No, they want what lies beneath it. Before Nathan could ask another question, the earth split open. The harbor floor cracked apart. Black seawater rushed into the opening. Then, an enormous stone staircase slowly rose from beneath the sea. It descended into darkness. At the very bottom, a single golden light flickered. The old king whispered, "It is time." Nathan looked down. What is this place? The vault. The place where every pirate king began. Torch after torch burst into flame. Nathan descended the staircase. His crew followed. Victorious ghost captains marched silently behind them. The deeper they walked, the stranger the walls became. Gold coins had been melted directly into the stone. Millions of them. Coins from kingdoms long forgotten. Some carried Roman emperors, some Egyptian pharaohs, some kings whose names history had erased. Yet every face had been scratched away, exactly like the coins on the ancient crown. Nathan touched one. The coin instantly turned black. The first pirate king pulled him back. Don't. They remember. The corridor finally opened into an enormous underground chamber. Nathan stopped breathing. Mountains of treasure filled the cavern. Gold higher than castles, jewels brighter than stars, crowns, scepters, royal seals, pearls the size of fists, entire ships built from solid silver. Enough wealth to buy every kingdom on earth. His crew stood speechless. One pirate whispered, "We're richer than emperors." The first pirate king answered quietly, "No." "You're looking at a prison," Nathan frowned. "This is treasure." The old king slowly picked up a single gold coin. "No, this is temptation." He tossed the coin into the air. It never landed. Instead, it floated. Then another coin floated. Then another. Soon, millions of coins lifted from the treasure piles. The entire chamber glowed with golden light. The coins gathered together, spinning faster, higher, louder, until they formed a gigantic golden whirlpool above everyone's heads. Nathan stared in disbelief. The first pirate king pointed upward. "This treasure isn't stolen. It is alive." Suddenly, faces appeared within the spinning gold. Kings, queens, pirates, children, entire families, all trapped inside the coins. Their mouths moved silently, trying to scream. Nathan stepped backward. "What happened to them?" The old king answered, "They wanted to own the sea. So the sea owned them." The golden storm suddenly stopped. Every coin dropped at once. The crash echoed like thunder. Then, one chest slowly opened by itself. Unlike every other treasure chest, this one held only a single object, a compass. Old, black. Its needle spun wildly, until it pointed, not north, toward Nathan. The first pirate king's voice became heavy. "That compass has only one purpose." "What?" "It always points to the next pirate king." Nathan looked away. "I'm not wearing the crown." "You don't have to." The old king stepped closer. "The crown doesn't create kings. It merely finds them." Suddenly, the compass needle snapped. The black metal shattered. A deep horn echoed from above. Once, twice, 3 times. The crown hunters had reached the harbor. Cannons thundered across the island. The ceiling shook violently. Dust rained from above. One ghost captain rushed into the chamber. For the first time, a skeleton spoke. "The outer fleet has fallen." Nathan froze. "Impossible." "There were thousands of ships." The skeleton nodded. "They brought something worse." The first pirate king's face turned pale. "No, they found it." Nathan looked between them. "What did they find?" Before anyone answered, an enormous shadow passed across the cavern ceiling. The entire treasure chamber became dark. The ground trembled with impossibly heavy footsteps. Boom, boom, boom! The mountain of gold began sliding by itself. Not because of magic, because something underneath it was standing up. Coins rolled in every direction. Treasure chests exploded apart. Then, a gigantic stone hand emerged from beneath the gold. Another, then a massive crowned head. Its eyes slowly opened. Inside them burned blue fire. The giant was not made of flesh. It had been built entirely from shipwrecks, anchors, cannons, chains, and the treasure of every pirate king who had ever lived. The first pirate king lowered his head. "The Guardian has awakened," Nathan whispered. "What is it guarding?" The giant slowly lifted one hand. Resting in its palm was another crown. Unlike the first, this one wasn't made of gold. It was forged from black iron, wrapped in rusted chains, and stained with ancient blood. The giant's voice shook the entire island. "Only one king may leave with the crown of the sea." Outside, the sound of thousands of enemy war drums filled the harbor. The final battle for the Pirate King's crown had begun. The Guardian rose from the mountain of treasure. Coins rained across the chamber. Entire ship masts snapped beneath its feet. Its body towered above the cavern, built from thousands of shattered ships. Cannons formed its ribs. Anchors hung from its shoulders. Rusted chains wrapped around its arms like living snakes. Inside its hollow chest, a blue fire burned. The Guardian slowly lifted the black iron crown. It wasn't beautiful. It wasn't glorious. It looked heavy, as though every betrayal in history had been forged into metal. The Guardian's voice shook the cavern. One king, one crown. Captain Nathan Blackwood instinctively stepped backward. I don't want it. The blue flames inside the Guardian's eyes flickered. For a long moment, nothing happened. Then, the giant lowered the crown. The first Pirate King smiled. It heard you, Nathan frowned. What? For 300 years, you're the first man to refuse. Suddenly, the treasure beneath their feet began moving. Not from the Guardian, from the gold itself. Coins rolled together, necklaces twisted into circles, broken swords fused with jeweled crowns. Within seconds, 10 enormous golden statues stood before Nathan. Each looked like a different pirate king. Each wore a different crown. Each held a different weapon. The first Pirate King quietly whispered, "They've awakened." Nathan looked confused. Who are they? The 10 kings, the rulers who nearly conquered every sea. One statue suddenly came alive. Gold cracked away from its face. A weathered pirate emerged beneath. His beard reached his waist. His eyes burned emerald green. I ruled the northern seas. Another awakened. A woman wearing a ruby crown. I ruled the eastern oceans. Another. A giant carrying 2 cutlasses. I ruled the southern islands. One after another, all 10 pirate kings opened their eyes. None looked human anymore. They looked like memories given flesh. The first Pirate King lowered his head. My brothers. Nathan stared. You all survived? The old king slowly answered. No. We all failed. The chamber trembled. The Guardian pointed its enormous hand toward Nathan. Choose. Instantly, the 10 pirate kings surrounded him. Each spoke at once. Wear the crown. Rule the seas. Take the treasure. Become immortal. Their voices echoed endlessly. Nathan covered his ears. Stop. The voices vanished. One king stepped forward. The woman with the ruby crown. She smiled sadly. You think we chose greed? Nathan nodded. Didn't you? She gently removed her crown. Inside, there were no jewels, only rust. We all believed we could protect the sea. Another pirate king laughed bitterly. We thought power made us guardians. Another quietly added, it only made us prisoners. The first pirate king pointed toward the endless treasure. Every king who accepted the crown became part of the island. Nathan slowly looked around. The mountains of gold, the floating crown, the ghost fleet, the Guardian. It suddenly made sense. This place isn't protecting the treasure. The old king nodded. No, the treasure is protecting itself. At that exact moment, a deafening explosion echoed from above. The cavern ceiling cracked. Stone rained down. One of the ghost captains rushed inside. The Crown Hunters! They've broken through the harbor! The Guardian turned toward the staircase. Its blue eyes became crimson. Outside, the sounds of battle filled the island. Cannons roared. Steel clashed. Ghost ships exploded. Nathan rushed toward the entrance. When he reached the harbor, he stopped. The battle was already lost. The undead fleet burned. Ancient ships that had survived centuries were sinking for the first time. The enemy wasn't using ordinary cannonballs. Every shot glowed bright white. The first pirate king whispered. Sunfire. Nathan looked at him. What is sunfire? The only weapon that can kill the dead. Another cannon blast struck. An entire ghost galleon vanished into ash. Skeleton sailors dissolved instantly. The crown hunters advanced through the smoke. Their black armor reflected the flames. Each warrior wore half of a broken golden crown around the neck. At their front rode a single captain. He wore no pirate coat, no tricorn hat, only a long black cloak. Across his face, a silver mask. He calmly walked across the battlefield, while ghost pirates attacked him from every direction. Every skeleton that came near collapsed into dust. He never drew a sword. Nathan narrowed his eyes. Who is he? The first pirate king's expression changed. For the first time, Nathan saw fear. Real fear. He shouldn't exist. The masked captain slowly stopped. Even from across the harbor, his voice carried perfectly. I have come for the last king. Nathan stepped forward. I'm here. The masked man slowly turned toward him. Then he laughed, a quiet, almost disappointed laugh. No, you are only the next one. He slowly removed the silver mask. Nathan's heart nearly stopped. The man's face was identical to his own. The same eyes, the same scar across his cheek, the same black hair, even the same voice. The first pirate king whispered in horror. The crown doesn't choose one king, it chooses the same king. Again and again, the stranger smiled. I am what Nathan Blackwood becomes, if he accepts the crown. Lightning exploded across the sky. The Guardian roared. The ghost fleet fell silent. Nathan stared at his own older face. Then the future version of himself slowly raised the broken golden crown around his neck and said, You still have time to become me. The harbor fell silent. Even the cannons stopped firing. Captain Nathan Blackwood stood face to face with himself. The same scar, the same eyes, the same voice, only older, colder. His long black coat looked worn by centuries of storms. Around his neck hung half of the broken golden crown. The future Nathan smiled. I remember this day. The younger Nathan tightened his grip on his sword. You're not me. The stranger chuckled. Not yet. Behind them, the Guardian lowered its massive head. Even the giant recognized him. The first pirate king whispered, It cannot be. Nathan looked toward the old king. You know him? The first pirate king slowly nodded. I've seen him at the end of every age. The future Nathan calmly walked across the battlefield. Ghost pirates attacked him, one after another. Without slowing down, he simply raised one hand. The attackers froze. Their skeletons cracked apart, then collapsed into white dust. No sword, no pistol, only a gesture. The crown hunters bowed as he passed, not because he commanded them, because they feared him. Nathan shouted, What happened to you? The older Nathan stopped walking. You accepted the crown? No. You accepted it. Silence. You simply haven't done it yet. The young captain shook his head. I refused. You refused today. The older Nathan smiled sadly. But tomorrow, you won't. Lightnings split the black sky. The blood-red lighthouse suddenly rebuilt itself. Broken stones flew upward. Wood repaired itself. The shattered tower became whole again. Nathan stared. How? The future Nathan looked toward the lighthouse. Time bends here. The last harbor doesn't obey history. It remembers every choice. Suddenly, the ocean surrounding the island became perfectly smooth, like glass. Nathan looked down. The water no longer reflected the sky. Instead, it showed another future. He saw himself wearing the crown of the sea. The ghost fleet stretched across every ocean. Kings surrendered before him. Empires burned. Entire navies sank beneath impossible storms. Every pirate on Earth knelt. He had become the greatest pirate king in history. Then, the vision changed. The same throne, the same crown, the same Nathan, alone. Everyone else was gone. His crew, dead. His friends, gone. The seas, silent. Only endless fog remained. Nathan whispered, "That's the future?" The older Nathan nodded. "The crown gives you everything, except someone to share it with." The first pirate king closed his eyes. "That was our mistake." All 10 pirate kings stepped forward, one after another. They removed their crowns. Each crown instantly turned into rust. The woman with the ruby crown spoke quietly. "We thought ruling the sea meant owning it." Another king added, "We became servants instead." The Guardian suddenly struck the ground with its enormous fist. The island shook. Its deep voice echoed once more. "The trial begins." The treasure chamber exploded open. The mountain of gold divided itself into 2 paths. One path shimmered with diamonds, jewels, gold, crowns. The other path contained nothing. Just weathered wooden planks leading into darkness. The Guardian pointed toward both. "Choose your road." The future Nathan laughed. "I already know which one he takes." Without hesitation, he walked toward the golden road. The treasures welcomed him. Coins floated around him. Crowns bowed before him. The sea itself seemed to worship him. Young Nathan looked toward the empty wooden path. There was nothing there. No glory, no riches, no throne, only darkness. His first mate quietly stepped beside him. "Captain, I'll follow whichever road you choose." Nathan looked at his crew. Men who had sailed beside him for years. Men who trusted him with their lives. Then he looked back at the mountains of treasure. For the first time, he noticed something hidden beneath the gold. Bones. Thousands of them. Every treasure pile rested upon the remains of pirates who had come before. Nathan slowly turned away from the gold. "I'm done chasing crowns." He stepped onto the empty wooden path. The moment his boot touched the first plank, every piece of treasure behind him screamed. Not people, the treasure itself. Millions of coins cried out together, "Come back! Take us! Be king!" The sound shook the entire island. The future Nathan suddenly stopped smiling. "No, you never chose that path." The wooden bridge began glowing. Not gold, pure white. At its end, a single weathered chest appeared. Small, plain, no jewels, no locks, no decorations. The Guardian's voice became almost gentle. The first pirate king left only one treasure. Nathan slowly opened the chest. Inside, there was no gold, no crown, no weapon, only a folded letter. Its paper looked impossibly old. Across the front were 6 simple words. "To the last pirate king." Nathan unfolded it. His eyes widened. His hands began shaking. Slowly, he looked toward the first pirate king. "You wrote this." The old king lowered his head. "I prayed no one would ever read it." Before Nathan could speak, the future Nathan ripped half of the broken crown from around his neck. His calm expression disappeared. For the first time, he looked terrified. "You cannot finish that letter!" The sea exploded. The Guardian roared. And beneath the last harbor, something even older than the crown began opening its eyes. The island shook. Deep beneath the last harbor, something ancient awakened. The sea no longer crashed against the cliffs. It breathed, slowly, like an enormous creature sleeping beneath the ocean floor. Captain Nathan Blackwood held the weathered letter tightly. Its paper felt warm, as though someone had written it, only moments ago. The future Nathan stared at him. His face had turned pale. "Don't read it." Nathan frowned. "You've crossed time to stop a letter." The older pirate slowly nodded. "Because I remember what it says." The first pirate king stepped between them. "No. You remember what happens after." The Guardian remained perfectly still. Its glowing blue eyes never left the letter. Even the giant seemed to be waiting. Nathan unfolded the ancient parchment. The faded ink slowly became darker, fresh, as if invisible hands were rewriting every word. He began reading aloud. "To the last pirate king, if you are reading this, then every king before you has failed. I created the crown, and I created the curse." Silence. Nathan slowly lowered the letter. He stared at the first pirate king. "You made the crown?" The old captain closed his eyes. "Yes." 300 years earlier, there had been no pirate kings, only pirates, endless wars, endless greed. Every fleet fought every other fleet. The oceans ran red. "I believed one king could unite them." The old captain looked toward the floating crown above the island. "So I searched for something greater than gold." "What did you find?" "The heart of the sea." The entire harbor suddenly glowed blue. The ocean surrounding the island became transparent. Far below, Nathan saw it, a gigantic crystal, larger than a city, pulsing beneath the ocean floor. Every heartbeat sent waves through the sea. The first pirate king whispered, "It grants every wish, but it always asks for something greater." Nathan looked back at the letter. The next word slowly appeared. "The heart does not love kings. It feeds upon ambition. Every crown it creates becomes another chain." Nathan looked toward the giant crown floating in the sky. The enormous iron chains, they weren't holding it up. They were holding something down. Nathan's heart raced. "The crown isn't imprisoned." The first pirate king slowly nodded. "No, the heart is." At that exact moment, the future Nathan lunged forward. He slashed the letter in half. The parchment burst into blue flames. Half the words disappeared forever. "No!" Nathan tried to grab the burning pieces. Too late. They became ash. The future Nathan breathed heavily. "That's far enough." Nathan glared at him. "What are you hiding?" The older pirate looked away. "I wasn't protecting the crown. I was protecting you." Before anyone could speak, the ocean exploded. A beam of blue light erupted from beneath the island. It pierced the sky. The giant floating crown began cracking. One chain snapped, then another. The crown hunters immediately dropped to one knee, not in fear, in celebration. Their masked commanders shouted together, "The prison opens!" Nathan turned toward the first pirate king. "They don't want the crown. No, they want what's trapped beneath it." The Guardian suddenly roared. For the first time, the giant moved away from the crown. Instead, it walked toward the sea. It planted both enormous hands into the cliffs, trying to hold the island together. The blue fire inside its chest burned brighter, but the cracks kept spreading. Boom, boom, boom. Each heartbeat from beneath the sea grew louder. The crystal wasn't just alive, it was waking up. Nathan looked at the future version of himself. "You knew this would happen. I caused it." Silence. The older Nathan slowly removed the broken half of his crown. His voice shook. "In my time, I failed to save the heart. I thought destroying it would end the curse. But I was wrong. What happened?" The future Nathan looked toward the horizon. The sea died. Everyone froze. No storms, no tides, no wind, no life. The oceans became still forever. The first pirate king whispered, "The heart isn't the curse. It is the sea itself." Nathan stared at the glowing light beneath the island. "If we destroy it, we destroy every ocean." The older Nathan nodded. "And if you leave it imprisoned, pirate kings will exist forever." Nathan looked down at the torn letter. Only one sentence remained untouched. The ink shimmered brilliantly. It hadn't burned. It couldn't burn. He read it aloud. "Only the king who refuses the sea can truly save it." Suddenly, every pirate sword in the harbor flew into the air. Thousands of blades circled above the island, pointing toward one place, the glowing crystal beneath the sea. The Guardian looked directly at Nathan. Its ancient voice echoed across every ship, every cliff, every wave. The last king must now make the impossible choice. Then, the sea beneath the island split completely open, and rising from the glowing abyss came an enormous hand made entirely of water, wearing a crown of living coral. It was not a monster. It was not a god. It was the heart of the sea itself. And for the first time in history, it opened its eyes. The heart of the sea opened its eyes. The entire ocean froze. Not a single wave moved. Not a single ship drifted. Time itself seemed to stop. The enormous figure of living water rose from the glowing abyss beneath the last harbor. Its body stretched higher than the cliffs. Its crown wasn't made of gold. It was woven from living coral, pearls, and ancient sea vines. Inside its transparent body, entire oceans swirled. Schools of glowing fish, sunken cities, whales older than kingdoms, everything the sea had ever hidden lived within it. Every pirate dropped to one knee, even the crown hunters, even the Guardian. Only Nathan Blackwood remained standing. The heart looked directly at him. Its voice wasn't loud, yet every sailor on every ship heard it. "Who calls himself king?" Nathan slowly shook his head. "I don't." The heart remained silent. Then, for the first time, it smiled. The future Nathan closed his eyes. "It remembers." Nathan frowned. "What does it remember?" The older pirate whispered, "The first promise." The heart slowly raised one enormous hand. The sea beneath Nathan's feet became clear as glass. He looked down. Instead of water, he saw the past. 300 years earlier, the first pirate king stood alone upon this very island. There had been no treasure, no giant crown, no ghost fleet, only a young pirate captain kneeling before the glowing crystal. The heart had asked him, "What do you seek?" The young captain answered without hesitation, "Peace." The heart glowed brilliantly. "And what will you give?" The young pirate smiled. "My life." Nathan watched silently. "But you didn't die." The first pirate king lowered his head. "I lied." Everyone froze. "I wanted peace, but I also wanted to rule." The heart accepted both promises, one true, one false. From that single lie, the crown was born. The sea had never cursed pirates. The lie had. Nathan stared at the old captain. "So every pirate king was paying for your mistake?" The first pirate king nodded. "Everyone." The future Nathan stepped beside him. "So did I. So will you." The heart suddenly lifted its other hand. Water surrounded Nathan, not to drown him, to show him. Another vision appeared, not the past, the future. He saw the last harbor, empty. No ghost fleet, no floating crown, no guardian. Only peaceful waves washing against quiet cliffs. Children sailed small fishing boats. Merchant ships crossed the sea without fear. Pirates no longer ruled the oceans. The age of pirate kings had ended. Nathan smiled. "We can save it." The future Nathan quietly answered, keep watching. The vision changed. Without pirate kings, new rulers appeared. Kings from powerful empires, massive war fleets, cannons, colonies, chains. The oceans became battlefields once again, not ruled by pirates, ruled by kingdoms. Thousands still died. Only the flags had changed. Nathan's smile disappeared. There is no perfect future. The heart gently nodded. Every choice creates another storm. The Guardian suddenly struck the cliffs with its enormous fist. The cracks racing across the island spread faster. The giant floating crown lost another chain. It tilted dangerously. The crown hunters began cheering. "The prison breaks! The sea returns!" Their masked commander stepped forward. He removed his black cloak. Beneath it, Nathan recognized him. Not another version of himself. The first mate, older, scarred, missing one eye. Nathan couldn't believe it. "Elias?" The older first mate smiled. "I finally became captain." Nathan stared in disbelief. "You lead the Crown Hunters." "I founded them." The future Nathan quietly explained. He was the only one who survived. The older Elias nodded. "When you accepted the crown, you abandoned us." Nathan slowly stepped backward. "I would never." "You already did." The older Elias pulled an ancient compass from his coat, the same black compass they had found inside the vault. Only now, its needle pointed, not toward Nathan, toward the heart of the sea. "We never hunted kings. We hunted the curse." The heart suddenly spoke again. Truth has finally reached the shore. The sea around the island began glowing. Every ghost ship slowly dissolved into blue mist. Skeleton captains smiled before fading into light. The 10 pirate kings removed their crowns. One by one, their bodies turned transparent. The first pirate king looked at Nathan. "Our watch is ending." Nathan shook his head. "Not yet." The old king smiled warmly. "It already has." He removed his weathered tricorn hat. For the first time, he no longer looked like a king. He simply looked like an old sailor. He turned toward the heart. "I'm ready." The heart gently nodded. The old captain dissolved into thousands of glowing blue droplets. The sea welcomed him home. The other pirate kings followed, one after another. Soon, only Nathan, the future Nathan, and Elias remained. Then, the floating crown of the sea cracked completely in half. Instead of falling, it opened. Inside, there wasn't treasure. There wasn't power. There was a doorway. Beyond it, an endless ocean stretched beneath a sky filled with unfamiliar stars. The future Nathan whispered, "The King's Horizon." Nathan looked at him. "What is it?" The older pirate's hands began trembling. "It isn't where pirate kings are crowned. It's where they're judged." A deep horn echoed across every ocean. Once, twice, 3 times. From beyond the glowing doorway, a colossal ship slowly emerged. It was larger than islands. Its sails were woven from storm clouds. Its hull was carved from black stone. No crew stood aboard, only one empty throne, waiting at the center of the deck. Then a voice thundered across the sea. "Bring forth the last pirate king." The broken crown of the sea floated before Captain Nathan Blackwood. One half glowed with golden fire, the other burned with blue light. The heart of the sea waited. The Guardian remained kneeling. Every surviving pirate, every crown hunter, every ghost watching from the fading mist looked toward Nathan. The ancient voice echoed one final time. "Choose." Nathan reached toward the crown. Every pirate held their breath. The 2 halves slowly drifted into his hands. The sea began roaring once more. Storm clouds gathered above the last harbor. Lightning circled the floating throne. The heart spoke quietly. Will you rule, or will you release? Nathan looked at the crown, then at his crew, then at Elias, then toward the endless ocean. He remembered every vision, every pirate king, every empire, every lonely throne, every forgotten king who believed one more victory would finally bring peace. None of them had found it. Nathan slowly smiled. I finally understand. The heart waited. Nathan raised the crown high into the air. Every pirate expected him to place it upon his head. Instead, he turned it upside down. The heart watched silently. Nathan whispered, "A crown belongs above a king." He looked toward the endless sea. But the sea was never meant to have one. Before anyone could react, Nathan slammed both halves of the crown together against the stone beneath his feet. The impact echoed across every ocean. Cracks raced through the ancient metal. Golden light burst from inside. The crown screamed, not like iron breaking, like centuries of trapped voices finally escaping. Every pirate king who had ever worn it appeared in the sky. Thousands of ghostly captains, men, women, sailors from every civilization, each still wearing the crown they had carried in life. The first pirate king stepped forward. He smiled proudly. "You chose what none of us could." Nathan struck the crown again. Another crack. The floating throne above the harbor shattered into dust. The giant chains snapped apart, one after another. The Guardian slowly stood, not to fight, to salute. It placed one enormous fist over its glowing chest. Then, its body began falling apart. Cannons, anchors, shipwrecks, chains, every piece gently returned to the sea from which it had been gathered. The Guardian had completed its final duty. Nathan lifted the crown one last time. Blue light poured from every crack. The heart softly asked, "Are you certain?" Nathan nodded. No ocean should belong to one man. With every ounce of strength, he drove the crown into the stone. It exploded, not violently, beautifully. The black iron became thousands of glowing blue fragments. Each fragment drifted into the sea. Wherever one touched the water, the ocean changed. Storms calmed. Coral reefs bloomed. Dead waters came alive. Sunken ships slowly disappeared beneath soft waves. The curse was ending. Across the harbor, the treasure mountains dissolved into sand. Gold coins became ordinary stones. Jeweled crowns became seashells. The vault collapsed peacefully. Nothing remained worth stealing. The crown hunters lowered their weapons. Older Elias stepped forward. "So it's over." Nathan nodded. "No more pirate kings." The older Elias smiled. At last, his body faded into blue mist. The broken compass fell from his hand. Its needle no longer pointed anywhere. It simply rested, its purpose fulfilled. The heart of the sea slowly began sinking beneath the waves. Before disappearing, it looked at Nathan one final time. "You refused to rule. Therefore you were worthy." Nathan smiled. "I was never looking for a kingdom." The heart answered, "Exactly." It vanished beneath the sea. The glowing doorway closed forever. The last harbor began disappearing, stone by stone, cliff by cliff, as if the island had existed only while the crown remained. Nathan and his crew hurried aboard their ship. The sea gently carried them away. When the morning sun finally rose, the island was gone. Only open water stretched in every direction. No floating throne, no ghost fleet, no ancient harbor. Nothing. Months passed. Stories spread across every port. Some sailors claimed pirate attacks had nearly vanished. Others swore strange storms no longer swallowed ships without warning. Treasure hunters searched endlessly for the last harbor. None ever found it. Maps marked the place as empty sea. Generations later, Old captains still told the same story to young sailors gathered beneath the stars. They spoke of a pirate king who won every treasure by refusing to keep any. Most laughed, some believed. But whenever the ocean became perfectly still, for just a single heartbeat, experienced sailors removed their hats. Not out of fear, out of respect.